This heartwarming photo shows nurses taking children outside to enjoy the sunshine. They're really focused on promoting health and well-being. This picture was taken way back in 1939. Little soldiers. A young girl in 8th grade. She's out in her own little patch of tobacco fields, 1,000 hills to be exact. She's earning her own money, which is pretty impressive, all while trying to juggle school and life on the farm. This photo was taken way back in 1939 in Granville County, North Carolina. Here's a photo of a German policeman from the year 1926. This is a shot of Satchel Paige at his final professional baseball game. It was in 1965, and he was pitching for the Kansas City A's. Amazingly, he was 59 years old at the time. He pitched 3 scoreless innings that day. Can you believe it? And check this out. They even provided him with an easy chair and a nurse in the bullpen. What a legend. Here's a photo of General Custer taken in 1860. Here's a photo of Charlie Chaplin, taken around 1919. This is a shot of downtown Shanghai, all the way back in 1930. All right, check this out. This photo captures the very first international tennis match ever played at Wimbledon. And get this, it was all the way back in 1883. All right, here's a photo of kids in a ballroom dancing class from 1945. Here's a photo of 9-year-old Eunice Winstead with her husband, Charlie Johns, who was 22. This picture was taken in Tennessee, back in 1937. Here's a look at Hiroshima, before and after the atomic bomb. So, this is a glimpse at the construction of Disneyland. Pretty cool, right? Imagine, building a place like that from the ground up. Check out this great photo. It shows Captain Walter, or Waddy, Young and his crew. They're posing right in front of their caricatures, painted on their B-29 Superfortress bomber. This was taken on November 24th, 1944. Smoosh, taken way back in 1937. Here's a photo from 1913 showing the Child Welfare Office at 30 Albury Street in London. The Messenger Boys strike. Wow, check this out. Norway getting its first ever shipment of bananas all the way back in 1905. Can you imagine? Wow, check this out. This photo captures a pretty intense scene. It's from 1958, and you can see a huge thunderstorm and a torrential downpour completely flooding parts of Blackpool. The water got so high, You can really tell how deep it was under the railway bridge on Devonshire Road just by looking at that stranded car. What a mess. This is Times Square in New York back in 1945. Looks like a huge crowd, doesn't it? This is the Lincoln Memorial. It's a beautiful and iconic building. This fascinating daguerreotype is actually the earliest confirmed photograph we have of Abraham Lincoln. It's believed to have been taken back in 1846 by Nicholas H. Shepard, shortly after Lincoln was elected to the United States House of Representatives. Here's a neat old photo. This one shows a milk delivery, way back when. It was taken in Studio City, California, around 1910. And get this, the milk was delivered by a dog cart. Pretty cool, huh? This is Anna Coleman Ladd. She was an American sculptor, and she's really known for her work creating prosthetic masks for soldiers who were disfigured during World War I. Here's a picture of George Hackenschmidt, the man credited with inventing the bench press. Here's Terezi, the 3-year-old daughter of Erkwaktok, who's from Iqugaktuk, also known as Peli Bay. She's an Inuk, and she's standing right next to a snowman that her father carved for her way back in 1951. Wow, check this out. This might be the very first GPS. It's an auto-scrolling map, and it's designed to help people navigate in real time. And get this, it dates all the way back to 1930. Here's a photo from Chicago in 1946. It shows a group of girls being sent home from McKinley High School for wearing slacks and blue jeans. Can you imagine? Here's a look back at Charles Lindbergh's epic voyage. This is the world's first solo, non-stop transatlantic flight, seen through some incredible old photos, all the way back from 1927. A young boy, probably around the age of 10 or so, offering comfort to his friend. It looks like they're in Scotland. This photo was taken way back in 1968. Leda and the Swan from the 1920s. Here's a neat old photo of window cleaners from the 1920s. They're all decked out in suits, which really shows you how formal things were back then. It's kind of funny to see them dressed like that, isn't it? This incredible photo shows the devastation left behind by the Great Galveston Hurricane. It hit Texas way back in 1900. Children in an eastern suburb of London, left homeless by the random bombings of the Nazi night raiders, waiting outside what's left of their home. It's September of 1940. Back in the 1930s, on the Windrock Navajo Reservation in Arizona, this photo captured such a beautiful moment. You can see a Navajo baby nestled in a traditional cradle board. It's really an iconic symbol of Native American child-rearing practices. Here's a picture of a Berlin banker back in 1923. He's carefully counting stacks of bundled marks. Here's the photo showing soldiers wearing gas masks, and you know what they're doing. They're peeling onions. This was taken at Tobruk on the 15th of October, 1941. Here's a look at a motorist, way back in 1914, on the edge of the Grand Canyon in the United States of America. This photo shows Mrs. Laura Hawkins Fraser, who was born when she was an incredible 87 years old in the year 1924. Now, you might know her better as the inspiration for Becky Thatcher, the character from Mark Twain's books. Here's a photo of a gentleman lighting a street lamp in Paris back in 1905. All right, here's a cool shot. We've got a fireman back in the year 1853, and he's recreating a scene. Looks like he's about to climb a ladder. This photo shows New Zealand troops, along with their tank, nicknamed Jumping Jenny. They're in a trench at Gaumecourt Wood in France. This was taken in the year 1918. Here's a classic. This is a young Marilyn Monroe doing a pinup shoot for Earl Moran. The photo was taken back in 1947. Here's a neat old photo. This one shows a child playing on a swing near a factory in Leeds, England. The photo was taken way back in 1955. This photo takes us back to London on New Year's Eve in 1930. We're in Hector's Devonshire restaurant, and there's a barman hard at work putting together a cocktail. Imagine the atmosphere. Here's a fun one. This picture shows a game of human chess in St. Petersburg, Russia. It was taken around 1924. Check this out. This incredible photo shows a woman and her horse leaping over a convertible. This was taken at a California rodeo back in 1934. This is River House down at 52nd Street and the East River. The photo was taken looking south from the 27th floor. It's a view of New York City, and it was December 15th, 1931 when this shot was taken. Here's a look back at 1953 at an iron lung ward in a hospital in California. Here's a photo of a cake made of millet and jujubes. It was taken in Peking back in 1915. Here's the Eiffel Tower captured during the liberation of Paris in 1944. Here's a doll from Germany, dating all the way back to the 17th century. Here's a photo showing British Army soldiers taking a shower thanks to a mobile bath unit. This was in Burma, now called Myanmar, during the Second World War, from 1939 to 1945. This photo shows a forest of totem poles. They were crafted by the Haida people in Skidegate, British Columbia, way back in 1878. It's being pulled by an ostrich. This photo was taken back in 1920 at the Costin Ostrich Farm in Arroyo Seco, South Pasadena, California. This is a really old photo of a cat taking a picture. It was taken way back in 1909. A child being initiated into the Ku Klux Klan. This photo was taken in Macon, Georgia, back in January of 1946. Here's a photo of John F. Kennedy riding a mule. It was during a campaign visit to the stockyards in Sioux City, Iowa. This was back in 1960. Here's a beautiful shot of a young mother enjoying some playtime with her kids. It looks like a pretty chilly day, but they're all having fun. This picture was taken in Goshen, Indiana, sometime in the 1930s or the 1940s. It's a lovely little moment captured from family life. This amazing photo captures a boy's reaction to a TV screen for the very first time. It's from 1948, and you can just feel the wonder in his eyes. This incredible photo shows Soviet soldiers marching with the lowered standards of the defeated Nazi forces. This was during the Victory Day parade in Moscow, which took place on June 24, 1945. Keith Sapsford, a young man, was just 14 years old when he tried to sneak aboard an airplane. Sadly, he fell from the wheel well and tragically plummeted to his death. This happened on February 22, 1970. Here's a photo of a cat making a daring escape from the Animal Rescue League in Boston, Massachusetts, and this was all the way back in 1940. Now check this out. This amazing photo shows a black sea bass caught way back in 1901. A woman named Mrs. A.W. Barrett reeled it in. Can you believe it? This fish weighed a whopping 416 pounds or 188 kilograms, and it was a giant, 7 feet and 10 inches long or 2.3 meters. This incredible catch happened off the coast of Santa Catalina Island in California in the USA. All right, check this out. Future speed demons. This photo shows some real speed aces from 1950, tearing it up around the Indianapolis Speedway. They're behind the wheels of their 1-horsepower specials, and they're absolutely flying at a speed of 20 miles an hour. Here's a photo of Madame Asta Suvrina and her dog listening to the radio. Here's a photo from Pie Town, New Mexico, dating back to 1940. It shows Mrs. Bill Stagg drawing water from her well. The well's actually inside the enclosed porch of her log house. This incredible photo captures a U.S. helicopter pilot scrambling away from his aircraft. It's early 1965, and Vietnamese forces just shot it down. You can practically feel the heat and chaos of the moment. Here's a cool photo of one of the first women's basketball teams. This picture was taken way back in 1899. Here's a photo of players from the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Chicago Blackhawks back in 1962. They're all huddled together, looking for a contact lens that Jack Evans lost. Here's a picture of the sinking of the Andrea Doria, which happened way back in 1956. This photo shows David Hensley, a young child crippled by polio. You can see him here with both of his legs in braces. He's out soliciting funds, part of a public fundraising drive. The goal? To raise money for a new polio hospital. This was all the way back in 1948. Here's a look back at the early days of mobile dining. This food truck, it's serving up meals on the go, way back in 1919. Here's how they used to shave back in the 1940s, the manliest way you could trim your beard. Here's a photo of Nora Washington beaming with a catfish she caught. And get this, she used a cane pole, no less. This was back in the 1950s on the Colorado River in Bastrop, Texas.